In the previous lecture, I have explained you about the digestive system. Now here I will be explaining the topic digestion. So what digestion is? Digestion is a process of physical and chemical breakdown of large and complex molecules of food into simple and small molecules by the action of digestive system. So digestion, when we talk about digestion, the process of digestion takes place into different body organs, like digestion in buccal cavity. So when we talk about digestion in buccal cavity, the food which is ingested is chewed and it is masticated in buccal cavity, and here mucus in saliva moistens and lubricates the food. It makes it soft so that it is easily swallowed, and there is an enzyme which is known as salivary amylase or ptyalin, which is present in saliva. It hydrolyzes starch into maltose, and pharynx and esophagus, they are just the conducting part of the food, and no mechanical or chemical digestion occurs in pharynx and esophagus. When we talk about digestion in stomach, so protein digestion begins in stomach. The muscular what happens? The muscular wall of stomach undergoes alternate contractions and relaxations, and it churns the food into a fine pulpy mass which is known as chyme. Now what happens? The gastric juice, this gastric juice contains hydrochloric acid, digestive enzymes like pepsin, renin and gastrin lipase, and mucus which is known as gastric mucin. Hydrochloric acid, it is alkaline and alkaline to acidic. It destroys bacteria which is present in the food and activates the inactive pepsinogen into active pepsin. It also controls opening and closing of the pyloric aperture. So pepsin is an enzyme. It is secreted in an inactive form, that is pepsinogen, and in the presence of HCl acid, it is converted into active form pepsin. It hydrolyzes the protein molecules into proteoses and peptones. Renin, in the presence of HCl and calcium ions, renin helps in the digestion of milk protein, and gastric lipase is partially hydrolyzes fats into fatty acids and glycerol, and gastric mucin protects the mucous membrane of stomach against the action of hydrochloric acid. Now we will talk about the digestion in small intestine. So when we talk about digestion in small intestine, the partially digested food which is known as chyme from the pyloric stomach is pushed into the duodenum by the relaxation of pyloric sphincter, and the bile juice from gallbladder and pancreatic juice from pancreas are mixed with the chyme. Now the functions of the bile juice, one of the important function of bile juice is that bile emulsifies fats and prepares them for the action of enzymes, and bile juice have no digestive enzymes, but it is important for digestion because it makes the medium alkaline for the action of enzymes of pancreatic and intestinal juices. Now when we talk about the role of pancreas, so pancreatic juice, you can see this diagram here. All the organs are given which they are related with the particular functions. The functions are also mentioned. When we talk about pancreatic juice contains following enzymes, that is trypsin and chymotrypsin. Both trypsin and chymotrypsin are secreted in inactive form, which is called as trypsinogen and chymotrypsinogen, and on being changed to active form, they bring about protein digestion into polypeptidase. Another enzyme which is known as amylopsin or pancreatic amylase, carboxypeptidase, stepsin or pancreatic lipase, nuclease and nucleotidase, these are also present. And when we talk about digestion in small intestine, so small intestine is the site of complete digestion. The complete digestion takes place in small intestine, and here the digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats takes place. There is a Brunner gland, and the crypts of Lieberkühn secretes intestinal juices which are known as succus entericus. It contains following enzymes: erepsin or peptidase. So these hydrolyzes polypeptides, tripeptides and dipeptides into amino acids. And maltase, it hydrolyzes maltose into glucose, and sucrase hydrolyzes sucrose into monosaccharides. Lactase, lipase and enterokinase are also present. Succus entericus also contain a nuclease, nucleotidase and nucleodase enzyme which hydrolyzes nucleic acids, nucleotides and nucleosides. When we talk about digestion in large intestine, water is absorbed by the mucous lining of large intestine, and undigested residue is changed to semi-solid feces, and these are pushed into the rectum from where they are passed out through the anus. And when we talk about the absorption of food, so the end product of carbohydrates, fats and protein digestion are glucose, glycerol, fatty acids and amino acids. They are absorbed in intestinal wall. Glucose, fructose, galactose, amino acids and vitamins diffuse through through the intestinal wall into the blood, while glycerol and fatty acids enter the lymph present in lymph vessels or lacteals. It is extremely long and present a large absorbing surface of the food, and its absorbing surface is further increased by the presence of numerous minute finger-like projections which is known as villi. It has a lacteal lymph vessel in each villi for the absorption of fat. Now when we talk about assimilation, so here the absorbed food is distributed to various body cells by the body. Glucose is used in respiration to release energy. Excess of glucose is converted into glycogen in liver and is stored in muscle cells and liver cells. Amino acids are used for the synthesis of proteins to be used as enzymes and in the construction of various cell organelles. Fatty acids and glycerol on reaching the cells are converted into the fats. So this was the process of complete digestion, and in my next lecture I will be taking the topic respiration.